Good morning. It's November 11th, 11/11. Great day for manifesting. I have to apologize in advance because they're power washing my house. So it might get kind of loud and it's also kind of late. I'm trying to wait it out. Hopefully they're at lunch. So, yeah, 11/11, my friends. And the full moon in Taurus is coming right up. And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Sagittarius is also in Venus right now, which is pretty nice feeling and expansive. And Venus Sagittarius is a traveler, and so is Venus. She starts out as the morning star and ends up at the east as the evening star. So there's a lot of kind of watery energy in my meditation I did just now, trying to prepare myself a little bit. It just felt real watery. It's watery out there right now. Mercury in retrograde, of course, the top of everyone's mind. But I'm gonna choose Venus as the inspiration for the reading. So she rules love and wealth and magic, and that's what makes her so attractive and interesting. And when I see Venus, of course, it's associated with the Greek and Roman, Venus Aphrodite, but we're talking Mother Mary on one end of the spectrum, Lucifer on the other, Inanna, Quetzalcoatl, Isis, Freya, Ishtar, like such a range, but all very loving and bright. All, some of them are real travelers. Isis, of course, going down under and back. Lucifer falling down to earth. And Freya traveling with her chariot drawn by cats, the best thing ever, across the sky every day. So Venus is a traveler, and also, it's all that watery, feminine, tenderness, love, and that's why I chose a card placement for love. And I also chose one for wealth because it's also just like money and abundance and gold. So let's see how that's going to show up today, or what's the best sort of approach to bringing that Venus energy today in terms of love and in terms of wealth and then in terms of magic, because a lot of these gods and goddesses are sorcery gods, especially Freya, Quetzalcoatl, sorcery and war, right? There's just like kind of every single thing that's my favorite thing. Not that war is my favorite thing, but you know what I mean? Just that warrior spirit is kind of my favorite thing. All right, so let's see. Love, wealth, and magic for today, 11/11. Bringing that Venus spirit in love and in wealth and in magickal. Okay, what do you have to say for yourself, Tarot? 5 of Swords, 4 of Swords, ooh, it's very swordsy, and the 9 of Cups. Interesting. It is kind of a whack day, I have to say. That's being reflected. Yeah, I feel like today, 11/11, it's also got a lot of power behind it, coming up on the full moon, inviting us to release. And so what do you know? You got some swords. For love, we have the 5 of Swords. So let me just show you this card. This is where all of our watery energy, our Venus energy, is inviting us to participate in love and work through the love thing with the Five of Swords today. So this is the card in the Rider-Waite where he's got some slain people in the background and he's walking away with their swords. So this is kind of the card of the ego. This is pointing, I know I've been through this before, but this is pointing out the fallacy, the essential fallacy that if it's bad for you and it's good for me, bully for me. Like that's not the way this works. It's not the way that the universal law works. The fact is that we're all connected, and if my actions are hurting someone, I'm hurt by it. In a witchcraft perspective, that's the thrice over law, where any kind of left hand thing you might be doing is going to come right back on you. Karma, all of that stuff. So that's the principle that this works on, and this is what's being called up today in form of in the area of love in our life. And this can be romantic love, it can be self-love, usually just kind of boils down to that. Love of family, love of humanity. However this love area of your life is coming through today, it's coming through with this lesson of the Five of Swords. It's inviting you to look at that fallacy and how it's showing up in your life, either emanating from you or from someone else, but really, even if it's from someone else, it all comes back to ourselves eventually. So, interesting card to get for love. And then for wealth, we have the Four of Swords. More of these tricky, pointy swords. The Four of Swords is a card of coma. Sometimes I say a card of coma. It's when there's sort of like a rest period after some challenges in which it's kind of like an integration of what has been lost, an integration of the pain. The best way to heal, and the body does this very well, is to kind of recede and almost hibernate and allow that healing to happen from the inside out. So the Four of Swords is a healing card. And it's a rest period card. Very hard for us Westerners. We're being invited today to get our rest on, especially in the realm of wealth. So maybe it's not the best day to get everything on your to-do list. Like maybe allow a little bit of integration. I also think my hands are shaking because it's lunchtime and I haven't eaten yet. And the Four of Swords, so right, this is our invitation for wealth and money, and coming from Venus. Very interesting. Let's come back to that. And then in magic, we have the Nine of Cups, right? So this is satisfaction, emotional satisfaction, the feeling of having enough. I mean, this guy looks a little smug. They do usually look a little smug. I feel like that's the shadow side of the card. And the light side of this emotional satisfaction is being able to operate out of a place, being able to operate not out of a place of lack. The lack mentality, the feeling that there is not enough. Reverend Michael Beckwith was just saying this on Sunday. I think he says it every fucking Sunday from Agape. He says, what the hell does he say? You have enough. All needs met, right? And when all needs are met on an emotional level, I mean, shit, it really cancels out every single vice you might have, from checking out with substances to being impatient to road rage, like any possible thing, to human trafficking, whatever it is that you're doing that is inauthentic and out of balance with your most sacred elevated self. It comes down to this mind frame of not all of them needs are met. So that is what's being brought in to magic, to spirituality, let's say, whatever your spirituality might be. And even like finding the magic in the world. So there's a link today being brought into us through Venus and the full moon to release into the realization that all needs are met. To release into the realization that the magic is there and it's in you. There's something about looking, like finding it has to do with not looking for it, because looking for it is generally coming out of a place of not enough. You know, there's always this sense of, in order to connect spiritually, it's not a matter of gaining skills. It's not a matter of getting or gaining or any of this. It's just getting out of your own way, because we already are magical spiritual beings. Every single motherfucking one of us. I really need to screw down this table. It's very wobbly. So, yeah, these are invitations today. They're kind of a lot of life lessons. That makes sense, it being the full moon coming on. That said, Venus and Taurus and the full moon, like, it's a yummy one. It's a nice one. It is an opportunity to kind of relax into and enjoy the physical nature of our manifested / spiritual world. The manifested world is the spiritual world. That is the path of witchcraft, especially. So love, wealth, and magic. Let's just go over this a little bit more. Venus and the moon inviting us into transcending this essential fallacy of disconnection and individualism. And that's where the love is. It's in the connection, right? Ooh, I like it. I like it. And then for wealth, and being invited into a little integration. You know, I'm going to bring this a little deeper, because I feel like wealth really comes and flows when you are walking your genuine, authentic, soul-centered path in terms of making money, right livelihood. And in this day and age, that does become a bit political on some level. And this integrating wounds and sorrows card, it must have to do with being in alignment with where the world is at, which is in a pretty precarious, wounded place and a turning point kind of place. And there's a lot of grief around what we're doing to each other and what we're doing to the environment. And I think this might be a day to allow a bit of that to seep in to what it is that is drawing you forward in terms of wealth. Because the more that is genuine and aligned, the more those opportunities will just start to flow and flow and flow. And the more you will be in this magic, all of these golden cups, this physical satisfaction, this sense of enough, this getting out of your own damn way, to just be in the flow of all three of these things. Coming through, Venus energy coming through in kind of a challenging way, but into an invitation of that softness, that watery softness. So I think that's it. I think that's it for today. My God, they didn't even start the construction. We are blessed. Happy 11/11. Thank you for showing up and listening to all of this. Please like and subscribe. Please, follow my links, and I do full readings, and I would love to do a healing for anybody. Blessed be. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.